This is the real story.
The truth will shock everyone.
They can't hide it forever.
All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Loretta, thank you for the 5x5. All right, thanks. All right, Tracy, Marilyn, Loretta, thank you for the 5x5. Kimberly, Raccoon, Francine, thank you for the 5x5. Base Bunny, Trapper, Bob, Snapcrapper, Pop, Groundhog, Flown Grown, thank you for 5x5. Vegan, Eric, Edley, Elaine, Bobby, Maria, Toto, thank you for the 5x5. The Watchman, Sheepdog, Sarita, Stacy, Mitch, Dobie, Patty, thank you for the 5x5. Love Pug, Snap, Laura, thank you for the 5x5. First and last, thank you for the 5x5. Raccoon Eyes, Maria Jackson, thank you for the 5x5. Your mom, thank you for the loud and clear. Appreciate it. Yes, I used AI thumbnails, at least to make them move. I think that's a little more entertaining. Let's see. Comet Moon, Gary, NNG, Miss Nancy, thank you for the 5x5. Lord Dog, Sojourner, thank you for the 5x5. And for the doggies, thank you for the 5x5. All right, so now tonight we're going to talk about, obviously, the Epstein file proves a few things, right? And as of right now, man, the Epstein file proves that the elites are going to continue to get away with what they're getting away with. Now, yes, there are a couple people who are stepping down. There are a couple people who got in trouble. There are a couple CEOs that stepped down. There are people that issued apologies. But yet the main people in trouble, nothing. Radio silence. Right? You had Pam Bondi, who had a wild exchange at one of those congressional hearings. Right? She had a wild exchange when the guy was asking about the Epstein file, and she was like, well, why don't we focus on the Dow? Right? Or was it the S&P? One of the two. She's like, why aren't we focused on that? How come we're not talking about this? I'm like, and I mean, listen, the guy was ripping into her, which I don't know where that started, but nonetheless, where it ended, it was bad. And the fact that she was trying to tell us we shouldn't be focused on the Epstein file, we should be focused on the stock market. That is the most bizarre. Like, I don't understand why people don't get it. People do not understand, guys, that there is some bullshit going on and we should be addressing it. Why are they trying to distract us or redirect us or misdirect us from the Epstein file? Why was it at the beginning of last year they were talking about how they were going to release these files? Sorry, reading something else. Like they were trying to misdirect us. In the beginning of the year, they were like promising the world, right? And actually in 2024, at the end of 2024, and the campaign, they were like, we should release the files. All of them were saying that the files should be released. All of them, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, Bondi, Trump, they were all saying that it should be released, we should release it. Then they step into office, and I guess they got to look at those files, and they were like, nope. And then first part of the year, they're like, we're going to release it, we're going to get there. And then by July, August, they were telling us that it was fake. Trump called his MAGA followers stupid. He even said, we do not need you if you are going to continue to push the Epstein files, right? Something to that effect. He states that we don't need you in our party. Well, guess what? Now there are a lot of MAGA people who are leaving based on that statement. Then you have Pam Bondi who said, oh, the Epstein file is sitting on my desk for review, for her to look at, for her to look through. Now, 3 million pages, you ain't looking through that shit in any good amount of time. That would take you at least a year or two to look through every page, to comb over everything. All right. So now she sits there and she goes, it's on my desk for review. A month or two later, she's like, yeah, the Epstein files doesn't exist. So Again, guys, all being lied to, and for whatever reason, people are still defending Trump. It's bizarre. It's the most bizarre shit. Had Biden done this shit, we would be up and down his ass. Kamala Harris, we would have laughed right into a corner, right? Because she's retarded. But Trump does it, and he's still a good dude. I don't get it. He's protecting our country. No, he isn't. He's protecting the PDOs. It's evident at this point he is. The fact that Pam Bondi is telling us to refocus our focus and focus on the stock market, no one's picking up on that or saying anything. Love Pug, we talked about Savannah Guthrie's mother last live stream, how there could be a connection with Epstein. Not to say that there is, I said there could be. And of course, get this shit. The FBI and the local law enforcement in Arizona, wherever that is, they're clashing with one another right now over the investigation. Of course, here comes the FBI, Kash Patel and his bullshit, interjecting and fucking things up. Guys, there's something there. And the fact that the FBI is mucking this up, the FBI should be like, listen, we'll lend you guys a hand. This is your investigation, but if you need something for us, we will go through with it. Oh, Love Pugs, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Sorry. What the fuck am I looking at? So anyway, yes, Obama drowns the chef. Like, there's a lot of things, man, that were just interesting around all of this time. People dying, disappearing, and it seems like everybody has a connection to the Epstein file or somebody powerful who's connected to the Epstein file. But no one's making that distinction or connection. Now, the Epstein file, guys, it proves that they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to continue to do what they want to do. Sorry. Because no one's getting in trouble. Right? They're going to continue to do what they want to do, and they will do what they want to do moving forward. That's what it proves to us. They will do, guys, it proves that they will have other means to continue what they're doing. Like, Epstein is not the only Epstein out there. I know nothing about the Zorro Ranch. They're going to continue to do what they're going to do. They're going to continue their means. They got other Epsteins out there. There are probably thousands of Epsteins. Jeffrey Epstein is just on the hot seat, if you will, because he got caught. And when he got caught for that bullshit, was it taxes or whatever, which there had to be something more there. Them arresting Epstein for, was it tax evasion or something stupid, child trafficking, was it child trafficking? I can't remember what it was. I know that McAfee was tax evasion, right? Sorry. And there was something with taxes. There was something again with taxes with Epstein, but I can't remember. Nonetheless, they are going to continue to do what they do. And we're going to continue to sit here and scream out our TV sets or computers or whatever it is, stating, oh, this is unfair. There's only one way to level the playing field, and that's to do what needs to be done. That's the bottom line. Right? To go online and go fucking, and to get busy, if you will, is the only other option. Maybe boycotting all of the high-ranking companies that are also involved in this Epstein file somewhere, maybe boycotting all of them. Because all of these people, guys, all of these politicians have stake in these companies. They have stake in BlackRock. They have stake in Amazon. They have stake in the real estate world. They have stake in cryptocurrency, precious metals. You can't boycott precious metals. But my point is that we can hit them in the pockets hard, but we got to go all in, right? We can't half-step it. We can't half-ass this. We got to go all in. We got to teach them a lesson. Or we go all in and we do the thing that was done with the Boston Tea Party. Well, boycotting Israel, and here's the crazy shit. EB at work, EB at work. Here's the interesting shit. There are states like Florida, for example, who are telling companies they cannot boycott Israel. So they took their First Amendment away from them, and they're telling them that they can't boycott Israel in any way, shape, or form. Imagine telling a company they can't boycott. They could boycott everything else. They could boycott anything else. They could boycott their own country. They could boycott China. They could boycott England, Israel. I mean, not Israel. Australia, New Zealand. Botswana in the middle of Africa somewhere. But they cannot boycott Israel under any circumstances. Tell me that is not a red flag to this whole Israel shit. People don't get it. And people sit there and they are easily brainwashed thinking that Israel is the saving grace of or salvation of this planet. They are not. EB, all right, thank you. Yes, Jason, they're 35 now, right? When I last read it was 27. Now it's 35. Here's the other weird thing. More states are jumping in bed with who? The World Health Organization? So the United States pulls out, and then individual states are now jumping in bed with them. New York just signed up. California, another liberal state, was it Oregon or Washington, jumped into bed with them. How does that work? Like, you jumped into bed with the World Health Organization, you are cooperating with them, but if there's another pandemic, who do you listen to? The CDC or the World Health Organization? I don't understand how they're letting or allowing these people to jump into them, an international organization like that, when the CDC reigns or runs the show here in the country. And there was a lot of reasons why Trump pulled out of the World Health Organization, rightfully so. Again, guys, I will agree on very few things Trump is doing very few things. And this is one of the things I agree with. But all I have to say, when another pandemic happens, who's going to follow who? Right, so it's just going to be it's going to be like a moment. The who's on third, right? Who's on second? That's going to wind up happening with the next pandemic. They're going to be like, well, who do we listen to? Do we listen to the CDC? Do we listen to who? And then someone's going to who? Who do we listen to? We listen to the CDC. And no, I mean, do we listen to the CDC? We listen to who? And they're like, what do you mean who? CDC. No, who? World Health Organization, right? And then that whole fucking bullshit's going to transpire. But my point, guys, is that I can't believe states are allowed to do that. Whatever. So this Epstein shit is just out of control. And we're not doing anything about it. We're not doing anything to quell it. Listen, this also proves, guys, that there are way more people involved. Look at the amount of redacted names on the emails and files. They're redacting names and they're hiding and protecting other people. Here we are. The Watchmen. That's a conclusion I came to when I was like, it wasn't just the island; it's the entire world that's involved, right? The entire world was involved over this. Jeffrey Willis. And I get that. It would open up more cabinet members. But who gives a fuck? We're supposed to protect kids, right? We're all about protecting kids, but this is where we draw the line because politicians might, get in trouble. Fantastic, Fox. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. That's where we draw the line. We're like, oh, well, those politicians. And you know what? We'll release more of the files when more of these guys are dead in another 20, 30 years. Then who are you going to be able to prosecute? Listen, shit needs to get done now, not later. And there is no excuse for protecting these people. Zero. There is no excuse for protecting PDOs. The bug. Interestingly enough, you brought that up because we were talking about that in the firehouse just last night. We were like, where the hell I said Fauci took his fucking pension and bounced, man. He saw the writing on the walls when all of the new research about the arm ticket is coming out, and it's making things worse and bad, and people at an alarming rate are passing away. Fauci just stepped back into the shadows, took his pension and bounced, man. So, yeah. Yeah, Pam Bondi's the worst. I mean, like, she was worse than that idiot that worked for Trump, the black chick. I mean, she almost make that black chick look like a fucking English scholar at this point, because that whole interaction, man, was insane. Insane. I've never heard of that nonsense. Oh, we should be focused on the stock market? What? Again, guys, the amount of misdirection and deflection, if you will, that's going on, when they should be like, yo, let's fuck this place up. Let's lock up this person, that person. And it's like, all right, let's not jump to locking them up. Let's dive deeper into this investigation. Let's start there. Let's dive a little deeper into this. Let's open some of these doors. Let's entertain some of these files. Why are there so many sworn affidavits for Trump? Why are there so many sworn affidavits against Jeffrey Epstein, though you can't do much about him? He's dead, or theoretically he's dead. He's not. He's living it up in Israel, shaloming and eating fucking, shlomish pie, whatever fucking Jews eat out there, So all of these people, they need to be a more comprehensive investigation. But that's not what we're going with, man. We're not going there. She's just yelling at politicians and going, we need to focus on the stock market. There are other things we need to focus on. Then they kidnapped Nancy Guthrie's mother, Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. They kidnap her a day after the files get released. Now all of a sudden, Savannah Guthrie is now busy with her hands tied with her mother's disappearance. I am 1,000% sure that rumor that she was going to do another expose on the Epstein files was real. But now the mother went missing, and now that shit's tied up. And listen, I hope after they find her mother dead or alive, she gets back to the whole Epstein file shit. Or maybe the Epstein file, or maybe her mother's disappearance was a warning. Yeah, people keep saying that Nancy Guthrie, I don't think it had anything to do with that. The fact that Savannah did that whole interview with the survivors, I think that put her on that put her in the X, if you will, in the crosshairs. Conquest. Yeah, they know that it won't be enough of us. There'll be some of us that will, but not enough of us. You're right. Because the problem is, guys, if enough of us went down to D.C. and started fucking carrying on like assholes, which we should, but if we did, it wouldn't be enough of us, because they would start locking the few of us that show up. Yeah, the whole Erica Kirk, halftime show, I heard that was a fiasco. You got people trying to defend it, and you got people like, yeah, no, it didn't go according to plan, And Kid Rock, out of all people, and people like Kid Rock's a pedophile because of his lyrics, could be so, but Kid Rock was probably the bad choice. They could have probably went with somebody a little more younger to compete with Bad Bunny. And the people with Bad Bunny, they're like, oh, he's an American. That's not the point. Bad Bunny would have been okay had he not told Americans they needed to learn Spanish to watch his fucking halftime show. That's where he fucked up. And then he tried to backpedal and say he was joking. He was not joking. Because if it was a joke, he'd have been like, oh, listen, you got, 4 months to learn Spanish. Ha, ha, ha. He didn't do that. He did that, you better believe it, look. I know that look. We all know that look. It was a serious look. Then he tried to he doubled down and then tried to backpedal. That's what fucked him. That's why a lot of people stopped watching the show. Now, apparently, the Super Bowl tried to say, get this bullshit. They tried to say that Bad Bunny had more views than Michael Jackson. That's when you knew what they were lying. Because Michael Jackson was top ranking of all times. Top ranking. Michael Jackson was universal. There were people all over the world that watched this man. And people didn't even watch the Super Bowl. They just watched the halftime show for Michael Jackson. And they try to say Bad Bunny did. Then a couple of days later, they go, well, they lost 7 million viewers when Bad Bunny came on the screen. It was either 7 million or 11 million viewers when he came on. So when I saw that, I was like, that tracks. Because in the firehouse, we were running around changing the TV set from the Super Bowl to Not even the Erica Kirk halftime show. No one watched that shit. I wasn't even gonna look at that bullshit. Nonetheless, we didn't watch that either. We were watching some other bullshit. I think it was like Golden Girls or some shit. Whatever it was, we weren't watching the halftime show. My point was, guys, is that they lost a lot of views. They try to sit there and amp it up. More than Michael Jackson? You fucking kidding me? Yes, and Janet Jackson had the best halftime show. Now, the nipple thing was absolute. That was clutch. I mean, it was a good show, but then the nipple popping out, boop, you were like, yes. As a guy, I was like, breastises. But outside of that, it was a good show, right? And even that got a lot of fucking views. And they're trying to say Bad Bunny with his merengue bullshit, you know, like ding, 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 ding. That's all you heard. I didn't hear a fucking word come out. I watched it for like 5 seconds, like, nope. And I didn't understand what he was saying. And people were saying he did it almost entirely. He did the entire fucking thing in Spanish. The only thing that was in English was God Bless America. So he told the American people to go fuck themselves by holding it in Spanish. That is why, right? But yeah, Bad Bunny, fuck him, dude. And you know, and people were just like, yeah, but people are being a racist. They're not being a racist. He made a stupid comment and he paid for it. Simple as that. Had nothing to do with him being fucking, Spanish, and eating fucking, rock boys and all. It had nothing to do with that shit. It had to do with the fact that he stated you need to learn Spanish. That fucked him. And people took that seriously. And again, you're at an American show, and there are people like, well, they're trying to get the South Americans to watch football. They don't fucking care about football. Football's been around for fucking decades. Now all of a sudden you're worried about people in South and Central America? Get the fuck out of here. Why? Because he's top-ranking musician? People like, he learns 2 languages. He learned multiple languages. Well, who cares? Someone was trying to like give his plus side. Like, none of that matters, man. He fucked up. He fucked up. He would have kept his mouth shut, people would watch his halftime show. If he would have got through the whole thing in Spanish, people would have just complained about it afterwards. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg was the best? I don't know. It was good, but I don't know if it was the best. Michael Jackson was the best because it was Michael Jackson. Right? You can't do any better than that. No one's ever going to, even, what's his name? The Weeknd, right? Didn't he have one that was okay? It was kind of weak. They're all weak because you can't compete with Michael Jackson. You could fucking moonwalk, maybe. That whole Bad Bunny shit, and and then people and then, listen, I fell for it. The AI picture of him burning the flag, apparently that never happened. But he does like to wear dresses and dress up like a woman. That's another fucking subject altogether. But nonetheless, that shit was fucking bad. It was just, again, all in Spanish. You could have did half in Spanish, half in English. People would have been all right with that. People would have been fine with that. Half and half, you would have satisfied a lot of Americans. Not everyone, but a lot. But as soon as you told people they needed to fucking learn Spanish, now you can go fuck yourself. And anyway, Bad Bunny looks like an asshole. He just looks like somebody you want to punch in the face. He has a punchable face. U2 was pretty good. They weren't bad either. You're right. There are a couple good ones out there. And I know that the NFL tries to go with the most ranked or highly ranked, musician out there. I get that, but when you tell people you have to learn another language in this country, there were Spanish people that were like, fuck this guy. People who spoke the language was like, no. So, and again, he fucked himself, and rightfully so, and good for him. And then he deleted his Instagram, by the way. Bad Bunny apparently wiped out his entire Instagram account because of the backlash he got from it. So good. Make stupid comments, you're inviting stupidity, right? He should have been stronger than that, but he wasn't. Somebody said, yeah, YouTube was pretty good, right? But again, nothing beats Michael Jackson. Nothing. It's Michael Jackson, man, Shit, you could have had Morgan Freeman tell a bedtime story. I think that would have did better than Bad Bunny. Everybody likes Morgan Freeman's voice. He would tell a bedtime story, some shit to the audience. Everybody would like nice and soothing in halftime, right? Nope. Katy Perry was better. Yeah, I don't remember Katy Perry's. I don't watch a lot of the halftime shows, to be honest with you. I don't watch it. As soon as they come on, first of all, I don't even watch the Super Bowl. I watched a couple minutes, but I'm not into the Super Bowl like that. I'm not into a bunch of people making billions of dollars on the back of us and then not giving anything back and having the audacity to overcharge in everything in the stadium. They don't give shit back to us. They take our tax dollars to build a lot of those stadiums, by the way. That shit isn't built only and solely by them. A lot of our tax-paying dollars pays for a lot of that shit as well. You think that they would give back to the community or the neighborhood that stadium is built in some way, shape, or form? Nope. Right? So fuck the NFL. And a lot of people sit there and like, oh, well, fuck them. We're sitting there and we're watching these grown men make millions of dollars for what? Now, some of these guys do help our neighborhoods. That's right. That's good for them. But we are paying our hard-earned money to fucking put into this bullshit. And again, they don't give anything back. Fuck out of here. The biggest human trafficking night, Super Bowl? Probably, man. I wouldn't even doubt any of that at this point. Yeah, Michael Jackson's not in the Epstein file, but dig how they're trying to come up or dig up his past abuse bullshit. But now with the Epstein, I'm like, he's not in the Epstein file, but somehow they're bringing up his shit again to, again, misdirect us. The fuck out of here. Michael Jackson might have been a little immature because, he was fucking sheltered a lot of his life, but a pedophile, and again, Macaulay Culkin and that other psych patient, Corey Feldman, stating he never did any of that shit when they were like, again. And all the other people who were involved, they went after his money, immediately after his money. That was the first thing they did. They're like, he diddled my son's penis, money. That's exactly what they did. They didn't fucking sit there and like, you diddled my kid, I would go back to your house and beat the balls off you. There'd be no lawsuits. There'd be no fucking time in court. There'd be none of that bullshit. There'd be fucking a blanket party. That's how you handle it. You don't go to court for it. But yeah, man. That's what it is. So, guys, bottom line is that the Epstein file proves a lot of things, and it proves that the elites are going to do what they're going to do. It proves that they're going to continue to do what they're going to do. Because here's the other thing with the Epstein list. The Epstein list also shows the other Epsteins that are out there. They don't want that. That's why that list is not out. The files came out, but not the list. People are confusing the two. People are thinking the file and the list are one and the same. They are two totally different entities or paperwork, if you will. The list shows you everything and everyone. And it shows you the other Epsteins. These guys have to protect their other Epsteins because they like their kids. Just saying. Other than that, guys, I think I'm going to go off the air now. I had enough. I'm tired. I passed out again in my chair like an old man. Woke up fucking like, what year is it? That's how fucking... And I'm tired again, so I'm going to just go lay down. Or rather, I'm going to write a couple shows out, then lay down. But outside of that, guys, I will see you guys next Tuesday for the double header. I think it's next Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's next Tuesday. I'm good. Yes. I'm good next Tuesday and Thursday. So I will see you guys then. Outside of that, man, thank you for watching me. Thank you for staying up this late and dealing with my bullshit. I will see a lot of you guys later next week. Appreciate it.